Okay. Believe we are now live. Let me actually check here. Could be wrong, but... Let me actually check here. Could be wrong, but... Yeah, because this is my only second time doing it. Let me see if I... Hey, look, there we go. There we go. I can see myself. Okay, we are actually live. This is the second time. So I'm gonna go ahead and get everything set up here. But we're gonna be finally finishing the Goblin character today. I don't know if we will for sure. I know there's a strong chance we might, but we're gonna try to. Currently we have the sculpt of the character down. This is the base sculpt for the character. The character is very buff, so we kind of made the character appear that way. I had a hard time deciding what the ears should look like for the character, because it's the first Goblin we've had. Whatever I come up with, I have to kind of stay with whenever we make more of them, right? But this is our character base. I have checked, and we are actually fully working now, so I guess we'll just begin. So, this is Policeman Darl, right? Buff policewoman. She's gonna be frequently interacting with the players in game, right? And her whole thing is that, like, she's a policeman and she's, like, always complaining that, people are getting in the way, basically, right? Where are my arms? So, the problem right now is... I don't know how to get the arms to work without them looking, like, jank. So, what I'm gonna do on probably our next stream is I'm just gonna, like, grab my character, right? I'm just gonna give him two arms that just go straight down and not have any movement to them. And then hopefully it'll look better, right? Hopefully my fancy looking thingy will do it. You know, like when Pirate Software does like the I don't know what it's called, but he does these thingies where he'll like do a crappy diagram. You know, of course, this is before he fell off and people realized he was just kind of not good at what he said he was good at. Like he just kind of lied to people for a living. But you know what? I don't know who is fully here yet, but I'm gonna ask a very simple question. Which to do first? Should we do character's hair? Should we do the character's outfit? Or something else? That is the question. Let me go ahead and see here. If anyone's got any responses to that. I'm also gonna... Oh yeah, I need to send this out to some people so they can watch it. Get that. There we go. Let me get a shareable link. Oh, forgot to ping people. Yeah, so I do have a small Discord, which I'm not going to share, at least for a long while, until we have enough people, but it's the new Krakinski crew. It's all the people who are working with me on this project. The new project we're doing is called The Epic of Infernus. Basically, it's going to be a pretty simple D&D campaign, but really well made, hopefully, right? We're trying to get to a high enough quality that we believe it'll look and feel good. Obviously, we're going to get a bunch of dumb shorts out of them, and then maybe a couple animated ones, right? Depends on what me and the team are capable of doing. I've been trying to teach a couple of them, because currently we got one or two artists so far. We got a couple of things, but yeah, I think... Oh, and I gotta let this resync here. Got a little confused. I went out of frame a little bit. But that is the goal for today. Is just to finish this character. Don't know if I will. I'm gonna try to. Weapon? That's actually interesting. We could try that. So, she has like a sledgehammer, which is spiked, right? I think this is a bit too cartoonish. We might try something a little bit different for this. But yeah, let's start with that, I guess. You get this here. So we're going to try and get this to scale. So, a big old sledgehammer. So we're going to probably shrink some parts of it. Elongate this a little bit. And yeah, let me also make sure I have this in the thing here. Stream Elements bot running. Ooh, learn how to customize. I've never actually tried the Stream Elements bot. I'm going to have to try to. It's going to be interesting. But... so we're going to go ahead and shrink this piece right down here. We're going to kind of stretch this out, right? So, I'm thinking it's going to be very rugged for this sledgehammer, right? So, we're going to make it look like it's made out of like a battered piece of wood with some like reinforced bits out of it. We're just going to hide the character because we don't need her right now. Yes, this is her eyes. They're separate, which... terrifying. They're stolen from Rakenval. He's like a French... I forget who he was, but I think he was a French Blender guy who made a bunch of videos about this fancy eye rig he made. So, since he was giving it out for free, I took it. They're actually insanely good, for the record. I haven't fully deciphered how they worked, because they're actually way more complicated than what I thought. I'll have to show you the nodes, but they're very complicated, apparently. Yeah. Also, if you're wondering where the music's from, I finally did my homework and actually got some music from, what was it? I got some from Mario Luigi and some, other popular video games right now. Well, not right now, but I guess more like they used to be popular. But, yeah, that's where all the music came from. Let's see if I can get this here. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and give it like a little bit of a tilt here. She's got a battered up piece of like sledgehammer that she came up with herself. Because this is a policeman, unfortunately she has to break some kneecaps because unfortunately not everyone is, you know, honorable. I should make a backstory about that. Maybe I'll make something for that. We're going to add a little stump right here. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this piece out, and then we're going to give it like a edge bevel right here. And then we'll make it look like it's a piece of wood that got cut out. So we have this shape right now. Let's go to Loop Tools, let's flatten. There we go. We're going to merge these two pieces right here. So, I'm trying to make it look like there's an outline piece for this piece of wood right here. So this is where our poly modeling skills will come in handy. We'll also merge this part right here because it's a little too dense. Give it like a little curve like Stormbreaker. Yeah, we can do that. I was thinking like this bottom piece right here, we could try giving it like some clear semblance of like a grip to it. So maybe, I don't know, I was thinking something similar to like I don't know, like maybe like a piece of cloth that goes around it. Because we're going a little fancy with this, and our character is also wielding a sledgehammer, surprisingly. Right? And what was it? Oh yeah, if you have any questions about how the heck Blender works, I can always answer them. I've been doing it for a couple years now, so I kind of understand how it works. I say kind of, because it's like quantum mechanics. The more you get into it, the more you know you don't know. Yeah, ignored again. How unfortunate. Ignored again. What does that mean? Oh, hey, ooh, Goofballs found me. Goofballs corporates? Okay. So you're a corporate guy, right? What does that entail? I was too busy looking at the question. I didn't even notice that somebody snuck in. What was it? I will I will keep track more this time. Riddle me this. What amazing questions do you have? Because I will answer all like a weird, crappy genie. A bit of clipping right there. Okay, we're gonna add like a little chip right here, and then we'll call our quits on the details for this one. Oh, it's you, Vale? I see. Vale is already gonna get in here and troll in chat, isn't he? Yeah, I'm gonna be wise and already leave the call I was in inside the server because I knew he was gonna try and raid me and like be like, haha, I got you again. Yeah, classic shenaniganizer. Vale is planning on doing Twitch himself too at some point. I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure he will. We'll see. But yeah, now his name is Goofballs Incorporated. Or Goofballs Corporation. They kind of seem like opposite, which is kind of the funny part, you know. But you know, I already explained the joke. I already ruined it. Dagnabbit. There we go. There we go. Doctor! Hey, Kirigasu's here now. That's nice. Doctor! Charge me! There we go. That's classic. Okay, I'm gonna send out my stream on other places because I didn't get it fully done yet. Give me a sec here, people. Where should I put some of this here? Well, let's put it in broadcast 0. That's been a server I've been in for a while. I'll explain to you guys some of that. There we go. Okay, so I think now what we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of like soften up this hill part right here, and then we're gonna give it like a grip. So I'm thinking something along the lines of beveling it like, let's say, twice. He loves. Hold on, what just happened? It's me, Vale, Doctor. Hello. He loves me the most many aspects as like redacted. Wow. Vale, I love what you said, but unfortunately YouTube doesn't like it. That or you redacted yourself, which is honestly is funnier. But hey, just like Jupiter, it only got stupider. Okay, we're gonna make the little hilt here, and then we'll call our quits right now for this part. Probably move on to, you know what, I'll let you guys decide again. What do you guys want to do after this? You either got add a little ball to the end, like a pommel. Oh, actually, that's smart. Hold on, let's add that. Hold on. Pommel. Let me actually look up a reference here. Because I know what you're talking about. A pommel. It's a rounded tube. It's like right on the end of like you get like on a sword. Yeah. Okay. Let's do this. Okay. So we're gonna go over here. I'm gonna give it like probably a ball shape. Do like a UV sphere, perhaps, right? Actually, I need to make this less detail. So I need to mess with it. UV sphere, 16 segments and 8 rings. There we go. Because most things are generally decently low poly modeled, but with absurdly high textures kind of make up the difference. We're going to center this, and then we're going to kind of reshape it a little bit. And yeah, we're going to give her a pommel. That actually fits perfectly. That was a nice suggestion, actually. Scary Terry? Who's Scary Terry? Who's that? Is he a legend now? Have we created our own bit that now everyone has to embrace? What is this? What is this madness? I don't even know. This is getting worse and worse. Okay. Pommel time. So, I think we do this, and then we're gonna kind of taper this end right here. And we'll give this like a push out. Let's get that. There we go. That looks pretty mean, honestly. The real problem with the pommel is that like there'd be too much weight in the back, but we're just gonna ignore that fact and instead embrace the idea that she wants to. Let's give it like a little bit of a crease, and then finally we're gonna add some like bits that are like breaking off from it. So let's add like a broken bit right here. We're gonna make this look run down, as in she's like broken a few kneecaps, definitely for sure. She's claimed her first few victims. Do a little chip. Let's give it like a little bit of a beveled edge here, and then finally we'll make the spike. So I actually have an idea for this part. We won't do this in too much detail because we're kind of early stage right now. So my thoughts are we give her like the classic like treatment where it's like she grabs this and there's like a bunch of spikes on the end. But it was very clearly like scrapped together, so like it looks like rusty nails on the end. So it looks like a hobbled weapon she built herself. Okay, we're gonna grab this now. Scale it. And now, very simply put it, and give this a little rotation, and this will be our hilt when we get to the serious stuff. There we are. So this will be the character's grip. A little engraved text on the top with the words knee breaker. Okay, I can't add that yet, but I will add that in the notes here. Let me write this down in the notes here. Knee breaker. Hold on, where did I put that? What about knee breaker 5000? She says it's her greatest invention of all time. When she's like dealing with criminals, she's like, I want you to see my big friend of mine. And instead of being like a little friend, it's like a big friend. And it turns out to be the knee breaker, and she just horrifically breaks their knees into Swiss cheese. Absolute tragedy. Absolute pain. On the hammer? Yeah. We'll do it on the hammer. It'll be like poorly written, but like it'll look quote unquote cool to her. There we go. That's in notes. Okay. So this is our design. People, what are your thoughts? Is this an approved? Hey, Shell, how's it going? Welcome. We're actually doing pretty good on the stream. We just made our fancy hammer, the Kneebreaker 5000, for Policeman Darl, right? We don't have anything else made, just the character's base mesh and this right now. We kind of came up with like this wooden hilt design. We got like this kind of rustic hammer, right? We're gonna add like spikes on it at some point. I don't know if we're gonna do that just yet. We're gonna get there. All right, people, as usual, I would like you guys to yell out your vote in chat, because there's not crazy much of you, so it's easier if you just yell it out. Do you want to do? You'll get two options here. Do you want me to do the character's luscious hair or the character's outfit? Pick between the two. Or I will just cry myself to sleep and never know. It's tragic indeed. Okay. Let's see. There's stream delay, so it's going to take you guys a second, I'm going to assume. I think after a minute I'll be impatient and just rush to do something. My non-existent ADHD brain will just like go and haywire and be forced to work on it. Okay. Okay, I don't think you guys have any responses to it, so I'm gonna... Oh, wait, we got it. Outfit, hair, or two. Okay, so I'm gonna assume two, so the vote has been cast. Oh. You guys made it even. Dagnabbit. Okay, I get to tie break then. Okay, I will tie break. I'm gonna choose the outfit. Why? Because it's a little bit... It's a little bit less annoying to do the outfit compared to the hair, because the hair takes like an hour. So let's start with the outfit. So I've devised some new methods for making characters. Instead of just making the base mesh and then making the clothes, I make the clothes alongside with the character. So we're gonna do retopology for this part right here, and then once we're done, we will make the character outfit for this now that we have the topology. Oh yeah, we have to go all the way down to here. So we're gonna start with the retopology. Now, if you don't know what that is, we're basically going in and we're making a less high detail version of the mesh. So this is a mesh, right? If we go into edit mode, this is what it looks like, right? So big, too much, right? It's unbearable. So we're downsizing and we're going to use planes, right? And that'll be how we actually make it, you know, actually manageable when it comes to rendering. So we're going to go ahead and grab our plane here. We're going to turn on mirror. And now we have a fancy old thingy right here. We're going to go ahead and turn on snapping. This is face snapping. So now it snaps towards the nearest target, in which case our sculpt. So now it can do this, right? Now it's a little annoying to look at, so we're going to go into viewport display, make this in front. There you go. And then we're going to now... Oh, what we got? JK, I love... Goofballs went through an entire emotional state in like less than 5 minutes. He's like, man, you really make me angry. And I'm like, he's like, JK, I love you with my non-existent heart. You're not okay? Okay, what's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong, Buster? I don't even know. But we're gonna turn on clipping like that, and we're gonna pretend like I didn't see whatever the heck Goofballs was talking about. Yeah, it's just everyone just immediately cry after hearing that, because I just don't even know how to respond. So I just ignore it like most streamers. My responsibility has gone down so badly. I am an irresponsible man now. Okay, so we made this little ring right here. Now the cool thing about it is if we extrude it, now we can just build our topology way faster, but unfortunately it's not attached to it anymore. So we're gonna give it a shrink wrap, so it'll shrink wrap around the target. Thankfully, since we're only dealing with the base mesh and the head, we don't need to merge these two things. Obviously, because there's only one target, in this case the base mesh, right? So, you hear dogs? Yeah, my family just got home. I guess I'll be right back. Hold on. See if I can turn that on. Oh, there we go. Okay, I'll be right back, people. Let me actually see if I can get this old media source working. Oh, there we go. Alright, I'll be right back, people. I have returned, magically, against all odds. It's a bit rare, but it happens. Get this thing back up here. There we are. Let me reset a couple things. It's taking a little second here. You guys said insane stuff. What is wrong with you guys? What is this? What did you guys what did you... What... I'm already gonna need a mod for some... Already, like, with 4 viewers, I'm gonna start needing a mod. How... Oh my gosh, what is going on? Freak Bob is calling. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay, let me go ahead and reset this up here. Get my media source working. No, we don't need that. There we are. Should be working. Or not. Oops. Oops, stream broken. Oh, there we go. We got it. Okay, we're back to normal. For once. We are Charlie. Okay. So, back to quote-unquote normalcy for once. I swear, when we get like more people, it's just gonna get worse, and eventually it's just gonna become like the Twitch hive mind. In this case, the YouTube hive mind of like confident, confused people who confidently don't know what they're talking about. I'm just gonna have to sit and witness it the entire time. Okay, so we're gonna continue here. So topology-wise, if you don't really understand much about topology, we're trying to make this with the most simplest squares possible, right? So we're gonna build like a ring that goes around the armpit here, like through the arm to the armpit. And then we're gonna go all the way around, ring around the rosy. We'll kind of build out to here, and then we'll do some radial topology that goes all the way around. Yeah, that's the premise. So, let's continue here. I'm worried about all the comments that are gonna get blared at me. I'm gonna spam YouTube live chat theory. It's like dead internet theory, but instead it's the opposite. It's like a live YouTube chat theory. It's the anti theory. Can't believe it. I actually am wondering something, since you guys are small group. I do ask, what are your thoughts on the music that I've selected for the stream? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Because I put time to finding stuff I think would be good for it. I don't know how it actually feels though. Right? I'm the leader. I'm gonna spam you. The viewers love me. I'm the leader of the brain. So in essence, you're the leader, and I should fear you, and I must appeal to your demands. Unfortunately, no money. Sorry. You can't take my money if I don't have it. Sorry, Buster. You can't steal from a man who's already broke. You know how it is. Music, yes. Insert IShowSpeed scratching his head. Nah. Okay. I got one approval from the control group of very early people to be like, yeah, I like the music. That's good. We're gonna hide this now because we don't need any more. So we're kind of building out as usual. We're gonna go to here. If you're noticing that's like ghosting, right? Like you see like extra lines. It's because the shrink wrap is being applied, but it's not actually showing what it actually looks like. It's only showing it's not showing it within the wireframe. So if we hit the triangle here, you'll see it like actually shows it. That's sort of how it works. But yeah, goal is to get clean topology. My English, I know. And once we actually have the clean topology, we're gonna get all the fancy stuff in here. I'm white or imp. The Goofball Corporation has gone too far. I need to abolish it. I need to boycott it. Oh yeah. Here's a fun little game we can play, by the way. It's a fun one. Do you have any dumb questions about this character you want answered? Why? Because I probably don't know them, but I'm gonna make them up. And then you'll have to deal with the consequences of your actions. That's right. You'll have to deal with the consequences of your actions, Johnson. You can't just avoid it, John. You can't avoid it anymore, Vale. It's happening. You can't stop it this time. It's inevitable. I am inevitable. I am inevitable. Yes, yes, blender knowledge. I don't understand. Okay. I assume that you want more blender knowledge. You want to gain the blender education you were meant to have. You want blender education. We may offer that. There we go. So, literally I'm just building out the outline of any shape I need to do. So currently I'm building an outline for this, but there's going to need outline for this so we can build out the muscle. Right? But we make plain old squares because it's the easiest to actually rig. It takes the least effort, so that's why we do it. Okay, we got this. There we go. Oh yeah, for the people on... Are they Scottish? Oh, I should definitely make them Scottish. I didn't think that hard. Yeah, they should be Scottish. Okay, I'm writing that in notes. Do I have my notes here? Did I erase it or what? Might have erased it. Let's see. Okay, she needs to be Scottish. I'm writing this down. Huh? What up, nerd? Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm a nerd. What are you gonna do about it, huh? You got a problem with that, huh? You want to fight me? You wanna put me in a duel? like an old-fashioned duel with like classic like old muskets or whatever. Oh no, I'm terrified. Uh-oh, Vale sent me a message. He just put bahaha. He must have his alt account or something. He's using his alt account as an alter ego. He's using it as a way to get away with saying mean things. He says he's funny. I told him to type that in chat, silly Billy. Yeah, better do better now. I'll see you on Monday. I'm afraid. But you know what? This is what I'm good at, so I might as well continue. The stream is only getting worse. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. He's infected. Okay. So now, what we're going to do is we're going to continue down here. So, yet again, sloosh it all the way down. So let's see here. Problem is, if we do extrude, it gets over here, right? Because it's copying, or it's using its thingamabobber right here. So what we're going to do instead, we're going to go and turn on backface culling, right? What that's going to do is, now these faces, right, they don't count because they're on the back side where you're not meant to ever see them. So now we can just place it here. Bam, we're good, right? We can keep going. We're going to go till like around, let's say here. Then from here, we'll kind of smooth some things out. And then finally, you go like this. Bam. What's the best way to get gum out of your hair? The best way to get gum out of your hair. You guys are... I have a simple solution. I have a simple solution for you. Go bald. What do you think is underneath this hat? Do you think that's all hair? No. That's for me asking you to go bald. Go bald. Go bald. I gotta get the one image of like the guy being like, go bald. There's an image, there's a whole subreddit about people wanting to go bald but needing like the confidence, and there's just a bunch of guys there who like tap them on the shoulder and be like, you need to go bald. It's a whole subreddit just about, hey, you should go bald. It's just stupid to me. Okay. Fire a blowtorch. Those are all good suggestions, but unfortunately, go bald is my best solution here. The means of going bald is different, however. We're gonna remove this. It's too much detail here. Too much detail also here. There we go. There we go. So we kind of make our loop around all the way. There we go. We might need more topology here, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. And I'm going to instead... There we go. Then we'll make this loop around like this. So we can add even more topology on this side. There we go. Let me go like that. There we go. Continue the loop. Till we get all the way around. Yeah, that actually fits. So what you're trying to look for in most of your topology is the amount of edges that you actually have for the other side. So for instance, we have 2 edges here, and we have 2 edges here, and so I know that if I connect these up, it'll work out. It doesn't always work out, and there's going to be an example of that will probably happen later, and I'll be like, guys, this is the moment that I'm talking about, and you'll see, because it's a part of the process you actually have to do. They're called topology ratios, and it's the best way you actually make sure your topology doesn't like go haywire and all that. Right, because you always need a way to actually finish up your topology. Okay, problem right here, we're going to need an extra cut because there's an extra edge right here, so we're just going to cut and then we're going to clean it up a little bit. There we are. Okay, now that we got this edge right here. We're going to extrude this out. I'm going to bang on my window during your campaign again. No! Give her shoulder problems. I mean, give her shoulder problems. I mean, swinging such a big hammer, it seems to come with some problems. We could do that. I'm gonna bang on your window during your campaign again. I'm already worried, because that means the real life people are like, know exactly who I am, and they're gonna be like, yeah, I know what I'm gonna do today. Just... the mere threat of real life people knowing exactly who you are and knowing exactly how to mess with you is terrifying to me. They're gonna know exactly how to mess with my mind. I'm fearing again. Guys, should he let me? Guys, should he let me join? Yes, I'll spare you. For now, no, but once hopefully when Slushy figures out how to do like PNG tuber or at least like VTuber characters, then you can, yeah. I would say at that point, yeah. At that point you can. Not yet because you don't have anything fancy yet and it would be confusing to our audience, but at some point, yeah, you can. All right. Okay, I'm now gonna get this fixed here. So we're just doing some cleanups. Okay, so this is the end of the arm here. So currently what we're trying to make is this part of the outfit. So I think we're gonna cut off around here for the main topology, and then we'll switch over to clothing for this part. I'm actually gonna show you guys a trick. You wanna see some? So our endpoint's right over here, right? So we're just gonna scooch this all the way over here. And we're just going to ignore the fact that we need to build it out. Watch. We're now here, right? Guess what's going to happen? Done. I just gave it a couple cuts. I'm a super genius and no one can stop me. So when you smooth it out, looks decent. Okay, so now we're gonna apply the shrink wrap. Is this not even or what? No, it's even. But let me see here. So we're gonna apply the shrink wrap, and then we'll reattach it. This is so that way it's like baked in. So now if we go back in, all that stuff that was floating, it's now gone. It's just on the base. So you can see that, right? So now we'll just clean up a little bit here, and then we're gonna move to the actually making the first piece of clothing. So currently on our design, at least for now, she has no armor because she's like pretty primitive. So we might snazz her up with a little bit of armor, maybe, but nothing too crazy because she's meant to start about as strong as the players are. Circle, there we go. So I'm using this thing called loop tools, and I can basically flatten this into a circle to make it easier to work with. Quite useful, I know. There we are. Do you have any extra rubber bands I need to add to my collection? I listened to the Art Zoom thing and I didn't get chance to upload it. I should be allowed. Oh, you're talking about the Art Zoom thing. Yeah, I remember that on the server. I didn't want to do it because my content doesn't like exactly align with your guys's. Maybe I would at some point, but didn't think you guys would have wanted it as much. I'm not saying I'm doubting myself. I just don't think it'd fit. Right? 3D and a bunch of 2D work doesn't always make the most sense. So we're adding a little circling here, and we're going to kind of clean it up a little bit. Twist this around a little bit. Uh-oh. Problem right there. Hold on. Let me just put this back to normal. Might be better as it was. Yeah, I think it was better as it was. Okay. This is the arm. For extra rubber bands, I don't know if I actually have any. I usually just use like a paper clip or something, right? That's what I typically use, just a paper clip. Okay. This is the Darl base. That's her name. We chose Darl because it sounds like a weird name to have. This is the Darl base mesh. There we go, shade smooth. So this works. We're gonna make a copy. No, we still need to make the rest of the bottom part right here because we need to make that the clothing. So we're gonna continue. Let me go ahead and hide this right now. So my copter died and I can't finish my art. Oh, your computer? No, that's bad, dude. Like pretty bad, man. What are you gonna do? What's your plan? What's your plan then, Buster? You got like a charger or something? What you got? I'm a little worried. I'm fearing. I have no charger? Dude, how are you gonna charge your thing then? Like, how you gonna get back? Like what do you want me what do you want this poor man to do? I can't do anything about that. You gotta throw me a bone somehow, you know? I can't just be like, I can't do anything about it. Bye. Okay. So now we're going like this. I will tell you though, we are going to get to the point at some point. You can't access Discord either. Your name is... What was your name? Do you need me to like say something on your behalf or something? Because I can do that if you need to. I can do that if you want, but I'll wait for your response. Takes a little bit. We got a delay. It's kind of part of it. Now you're good. Okay, I just want to make sure because if you have something important going on, you're like, no, I can't make it. You know, tragic. I know, it happens. Okay, so we made just enough to where I think I can steal this topology for the first part of the outfit. So let's go ahead and make that. So she's got like a leather overcoat, pretty basic, which kind of makes sense for her. She's not really that fancy. I'm gonna definitely make whoever voices her now Scottish because it makes sense. Not that she is actually Scottish, but she has the Scottish sounding, right? Also, this is the character's eyes. I know, absolutely terrifying. Kill a man with that. I just need to find my charger somewhere in my bag. I got you. So you do have one, just don't have it yet. Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and see here. So we already got a fancy hammer and all that. Let's look at our reference again. Very strongly sharp like this. We might raise the belt a bit. Okay, let's go ahead and make this. So we're gonna get this as a duplicate. This will be Darl. We'll call it leather coat. So important part right now is just this part. Okay, apply mirror. No, not on this one. I'm gonna apply the mirror and shrink wrap on this one, so this will make it like stable. So now it can just work like it looks, right? Then we're just gonna kind of build out a rough shape. So we already have this base. And maybe I shouldn't mirror it. Go back a little bit here in time. We'll go to here and we'll just apply the shrink wrap and nothing else. And we'll go to base mesh and we'll just hide that. So now we're just gonna kind of build this out. Let me think here. So we're going for this. Very rough shape, I know. So let's first push everything out. There's another way we could do it, which I don't like doing, but we could try and cloth sim it out to make it work. But this solution is just a little easier, which is we just push things out until it fits or it feels right. So it's gonna look bad in just a second, but we're gonna smooth it out once we're done. Okay, now we just smooth it out. Probably could have done this just from the beginning, but this is just to push out some of the parts. Now, it's going to end up smoothing some parts that we'll need to push out, so once we're done here, we're going to also push everything back. Rinse, repeat. Smooth this part out. Push it out. There we are. Okay, now we're going to clean up the edges here. This should be enough to work with now. We'll just need to smooth it out now. Not bad. So this will serve as our base here. We're going to make it a different color. We're going to give it a leather texture. These are actually made from scratch by me. Most of these textures are from scratch. So we're going to grab the leather one. We're going to place that on. You're going to notice it's going to like have this texture thing. It's going to look way too smooth because it doesn't actually have like a texture thing acknowledged with it. So we're now going to add our loop cuts. We're going to do one like here, seam. Then we're going to do finally a seam that goes in the back right here. So then we'll go back here so we can see what we're doing. And finally, UV unwrap angle based. You'll notice it's doing this. Looks alright, but now it's like way too shiny. So now we go and we're just going to like de-shine it a little bit. So this is the roughness image. This is the principal BSDF. We're going to go into here. We're going to kind of gray out some of the highlights. Because if we go like this, way too smooth. So we're going to go ahead and make this gray. Just a bit. Now we need to cut out the actual shape. So this is what the shape actually is. It's pretty tight on. Goes like this and goes down, right? Bit of folding on the side here. There's a small pocket right here, a little knife cut in right there, and these little pauldrons. So we're gonna ignore the pauldrons right now. So first we're gonna delete this. We're gonna cut out an outline right here. So we're gonna grab this right here. Push this more down, actually. Now, the texture does look alright on it, but it's actually not what it'll end up looking like, because we still have it mirrored, and so it's mirroring an existing thing, and it makes it look twice as detailed than it actually is. Okay, so now we have this. We're going to go ahead and solidify, which is basically like extruding it outwards. So we're basically pushing it outwards. Solidify, which doesn't seem to be doing much. Seam, because the scale is way too small, so we're going to apply it. It's going to look terrible. Oh, no, it actually got pretty good. So this is what it now looks like. Okay. Now we're going to do a couple things here. Well, let me see what's going on. So let's maybe add these string things here. Probably do that actually. So instead of actually trying to model this whole thing out from the base, we're going to use an actual curve for this one. Now, we're going to probably use the same textures we did last time. So, first to get our shape, we're going to add a circle in. Get a circle. This one should be the correct one, right? There we go. So, we're just going to go ahead and shrink this in. Let's grab this here. Shrink it down. So it'll kind of have the functionality of the string here. Then we can extrude this piece. So it has the shape, the object here. Might be too big or too small, we'll need to determine. A bit too small, or a bit too big. It's also, I believe, off-center. So let's fix the off-centerness. The actual center. Set the origin to the geometry. There we go. Let's also stop making this visible in front. I'm going to go ahead and send this out a little bit. Alright, sent. Let's see here. Looking for self-promo. Sometimes stupid and forget to put it in spots I should. There we are. We'll send this. There we go. Alright, so we're going to continue on the outfit here. So let's take a look here. But if I'm not mistaken, this already is the shape we need. We just need to cut it out. So let's grab our knife tool. So this is a pretty common tool, but basically we can just go in here. We just cut into the shape we want, which is very sharp for this one, surprisingly. We could just build an outline where we think it should be. So according to this, it should go like this. So let's enter that in. We're going to grab the shape here and we're just going to cut this out because we don't need any more. Let's look at the shape here. It should be a little bit lower down and more larger for the side here. So we'll go like this. Kind of push it out a little bit. We're going to make it to where it no longer is visible in front so we can see when it's clipping. So now we got something like this. It's not bad. So with this in mind, kind of go to the front here. I think we're going to reduce the amount of solidification it's having. Currently it's a little too much. There we go, a bit better. A little bit clipping right there, we're going to fix that. There we are. So this will serve as our base. We're also going to kind of push this out a bit. Clean this part up. So let's go ahead and see this in shader mode. Not bad. So now we need to make the pauldrons. So I'm actually going to steal topology right here. I'm going to like maybe push it out and like like the bottom part right here. I think it's like a cushioning of some sort. Let's see here. We're gonna maybe like stretch this out to the front a little bit more. And stretch this out here, give it a little loop cut. There we go. I think I need to stretch it out even more. Alright, people, I think I'm back. Let me make sure I got everything set up here. But, we're ready to start. Get the scene here. I'm gonna turn the music off real quick. There we are. Now we can go back to here. I can turn it back to here. What's been going on inside the stream? I haven't checked what's been going on in a while. Let me check here. The little zoom, the no. Huh. Okay. Apparently my character... Oh, we got a little bug here. Okay, there we are. Okay, now I can speak like normal. Now we're good. Okay. I'm just gonna mute my own stream because I have to check my actual stream what it looks like sometimes. There we are. So we're gonna make this pauldron right here. It's kind of like flared up, so we're gonna kind of push this down a little bit. We're gonna push this part down as well. Okay. You go ahead and... There we are. So, this shoulder pauldron, we're gonna build it out sort of like this. So we're gonna need like an underlayer underneath it. Which we can't detail crazy much just yet because we're kind of early phase right now. And we can mesh out the details if we want later. There we go. So this is going to give a separate texture. We're going to give it a fabric one. And this is going to be our base fabric texture we're going to use for the actual undershirt, right? Now, we can't actually build it with the actual undershirt fully, because if we do, then we'd have to mess with the character shape too much. So we just build it with whatever's visible, right? Then if we want to later, we can go in and actually make the full outfit if the character needs to, like, switch out, right? Since I don't think this character is going to need to for a while, I don't think there's a purpose in doing that yet. So we're just going to do it like so. We're going to keep it simple. So I actually like the blue here. We're gonna make it a little bit. We're gonna make it a little bit more darker. We'll obviously need to adjust the shape a little bit. As you can see here, the design's more like it's got rivets to it. Ours doesn't. I'm just gonna remove this character here because I had it for comparison, but we don't need it anymore. Something like that. Save. There we are. Just gonna some old stuff we don't need here. There we go. Okay, so there's a little bit of a lining right here. So we're really just going to add like a singular cut that goes through. And then we're going to give it a hint of a bit of a bevel. Which for whatever reason it will not do. Hold on. It's based on offset. We could do it based on width, maybe. No, it's a little bit weird. Let's just do a cut then. Oh, it's because there's a mirror. We'll need to do that when we apply the mirror, because the mirror's in the way right now. So, we go ahead and get this here. We're gonna add this. There we are. So then we add it like this. Then we go like this. I'm gonna allow clipping on this one because it's kind of impossible not to have a clip unless we like bake it in or like build it in, which is kind of impossible for this, so we're just gonna let it clip for this one. I'm just gonna remove this shape right down here. Push that up. We're going to give it the same, very similar blue texture to the pauldrons, or might just do the exact same one, honestly. Why? Because I said so. There we are. So this will now work as the over part right here. Now we need the under part. So I'm thinking for this, we'll have the belt actually start up earlier, like around here. So semi-visible. Then we'll have the pants go all the way down to the legs. Right? Oh, we got a problem right there with, there we are. We had a problem with the faces. They were facing the wrong way. It's fixed. So now we can just go in and we can make this part right here. So let's grab our base. This base is going to serve yet again as our way of making the actual physical base for the character. We're going to build all the way down to the legs. There we are. For right here, we're going to need to clean this up a little bit. And we're going to try and make a loop that goes all the way around here. So that way we can go down to the leg. loop cut right here, maybe. There we are. So then we can just keep going down here. Yet again, we're gonna follow the same trick we've been doing for this stream, which is we're just gonna go in here, and there we are. So this, cool and all. Make a cut right here. Keep going. Finally, we reach the end of the foot. This is when the foot topology begins, so we're actually going to start all the way up here, because this is where the model actually begins around here. This is where we'll be done. We're now going to grab the actual foot mesh itself, and we're going to steal its topology. So, you see it's like this, right? Gotta raise that up a little bit, guys, it's not clipping with it. There we are. So now it's like this, we can shrink wrap it. Now you'll notice it's just doing that, right? We want it to be on the outside. So now what we can do is we can go in here, scale this out, and now it's going to be able to be used for the outside mesh. Now we can connect it, right? Let's see if I got this right. You scale this out, I believe. Yep, and push it down. Put this visible in front. Fix our mistakes. Clean this up. But now, we can connect up to the foot. We don't have to model it. So all this, not modeled. We just stole a model. Now, place this here. Join it. UV. No, not UV. We need to... There we go. We're going to recalculate the outside. Also going to fix our scales and transforms. There we go. Recalc outside. So, now we got this. So this is the topology system that I was saying would happen way later. Basically right here, we had too much topology and too little on the top, so we only have one vertice while we have this many right here. Now we could just do triangles, right? That's what I did on autopilot, but there's actually an easier way. So the easier way is we just make it into a square. So the only concern will maybe be that it doesn't loop fully properly, which I'll deal with that problem if I have to, but it's cleaner, right? So this is a form of topology ratio, which we can use to make sure that the amount on the top is the same as the bottom, right? So that's just one of the ways we can like fix that. Now let me actually get anything to resync here. Scary. No way. Okay. So, we're going to continue with the arms here. Okay. Clean this up. It's a little too wide right here, honestly.
No, not sculpting. Silly.
Okay, and then we're going to finally stop it here, because this is where the hand starts to begin. So we'll need to adjust the topology for there at some point. So now we have this. What are we going to use with this? Well, we need to make the... Reminder, we're going to be making the pants now. So we can hide this now. No longer needs to be in front. So we're going to steal the topology right here. We're going to make the pants. We're going to grab everything right here. Grab all the stuff down here. All the way down. We're going to duplicate that. We're going to make some fancy schmancy pants. Go do 0.003 maybe. There we go. Shade smooth. It's going to look pretty generic right now. Okay, we need to make these black pants, so we'll get a fabric shader. We'll do an up module. So yet again, one of these fancy fabric shaders I've made from scratch. So mark the seam. We unwrap, and you'll notice it's just a complete mess. Why? Because we didn't unwrap it properly. And so it just keeps trying to make it work when it doesn't. Let's try it again. There we go. You'll now notice it has these lines, right? Now, the fun thing about them is since this is procedural, we can actually dictate how these lines work. So I'm going to distort them to where they'll go in a different direction instead, perhaps. So you can see here, this is the factor. Where can we adjust it? So this is X, right? We can now change it to Y, and you'll see now it's going in the Y direction. Now, we can adjust its color. Make that black. Make this a white. Then we'll adjust the sliders. There we go. So this is some pretty generic pants. We're going to make them a little fancier over time, but this is the pants. Finally, we're going to go ahead and maybe stretch this out a little bit because it's a little too short. We're going to give it like clothing folds built in. We can model those in if we want to, but they're kind of a pain, so I usually avoid them. Might raise this a little bit now. There we go. Okay, now we have this. So we're now gonna add the belts by copying the parts of the base mesh. Just gonna fix the back a bit. Increase the thickness so we can see it. Okay. Kind of push it out a little bit to remove some clipping. So this belt right here, we're going to use probably the same leather texture, but I'm going to try something a little bit different this time because it's a little bit too similar to the... Oh, hey, Boba's here. How's it going, man? I wanna hear if you got any questions about this character and all. Been working on it for a bit. I can show you a little bit here and give you a little tour. You can't ignore me forever. Oh yay, Nick's here. I don't know who that guy is. Nah, actually no, he's part of the D&D live stuff. You'll know him when you meet him. But I'm working on the fancy Goblin character right now. I'll show you guys. So let me get this here. So this is the current outfit we have. So currently, based on the design right now, we got a couple things we need to cover today. So I just made the sculpts today. We need to cover the hair. We need to make the sledgehammer. We need to make the outfit. We're almost done with the outfit actually. Pretty soon I'm going to add some dirt shaders. I'll show you guys a little bit of how that works if you guys are interested. But do the roar. Do the roar. Do it. Do the roar. Do it. Do the roar. I know you're watching. I know. I know you're watching. I know. I know what's gonna happen. I'm coming after you. I know what's gonna happen. Okay. Let me go ahead and get this here. We're gonna begin our scheming. So, got this leather here. So we're gonna give it a little fancy shader. For the people here, who is the guy named Something Special, which is kind of a weird name, honestly. There we go. See this right here? Belt. She has belt now. Oh yeah, we need to make her skin green now, because we have the outfit almost ready. So let's make her skin now. Okay, so as usual, we're gonna go ahead and get ourselves ready here. I gotta get an emote of Do the Roar on the stream, so like if people donate enough bits, it'll just spam the Do the Roar like 1 to 5 times in a random order. So I just keep getting annoyed by it. I'm like so ticked off by it that I just remove it. Okay. So yes, it'll make the character look black. Scary, I know. Which I know, it's terrifying, because it's like, got extremely large eyes, is like, make it harder to see, actually, so I might need to fix that at some point, but let's get the base here. So we got this base right here. Oh yeah, what's it, Something Special? If you got anybody who you think would want to watch the stream, give it to them. Alright? Why? Funny. You know, you need people to yell at. There it is. So, this is our base mesh right here. So you know what we're going to do now? We're going to give it the same treatment. We're going to give it the skin shader, and then we're going to change the color. So, this is what the character looks like human. Ugh, terrifying. We don't like them human. Ugh, stop that. You know what we're going to do instead? We're going to do this thing called stealing. There we are. Just rob the color. Exactly. Like an X-Acto knife. Now that we've done that, let's keep going here. So we got this. We got our pants. Uh-oh, it's clipping. Which is fine, because it's just this. There we go. Oh, I misspelled base mesh. It's base measured. Measured. Base meg. Base mezg. There we are. Okay, what do we need to add? I don't think there's anything else we need to add for the outfit now, except for boots, which we're going to do later. So, here, let me go ahead and actually get this ready for the next part. You know what we're going to do now? This is a fun part. We're going to make hair. So we're going to remove all of her baldness and make her unbald. Finally, after this, we're going to do the retopology for the face and then make her actually look like textured and all that so it looks good. So, let's do all that fun stuff right now. So we're gonna go ahead and first save because my computer is gonna die in a terrible, horrific way if I don't. Where is it? There we are. This is our hair. Actually, no, we'll do a separate object for this, but this is the base idea for her hair, but we're going to add some stuff here. For instance, we're going to make a separate shape. This one's going to be repeated, because we want to make it look like it's multiple hairs even when it's not. So we're going to go like this. Then we grab this here. And then we're going to ask it to copy this profile, and you'll notice it's got a bunch of them, right? So we get looks like a bundle of hair. Now we add the hair shader, and it sells the illusion that it's really high detail even when it's not. And that's the fun part, is we don't have to worry about like crashing our PCs with it. There we go. So now you can see it sort of has the taper. There we go. So now we're going to go in here, and yet again, join areas. Hold on. There we are. Oh, need to reset Blender. Thankfully I saved. Should be good here. Give me a sec here. Okay. Oh, Blender fixed. There we go. So we reset Blender here. What was it? It's been a little buggy recently. Ever since the low taper fade. Okay, I'll tell you what. I got an idea. You want to hear it? Okay, I'm gonna send out this image on a server I'm in, and I'm gonna ask them to give her a low taper fade. Hear me out. Hear me out. All right, low taper fade. Low taper fade. We gotta do it. Okay. Let me get that. Let me get that. I'm gonna ask our famous artist to give her a low taper fade, and I'll not explain why until after. Well, I have returned magically. You know what that means. Back to the old stream hut. Isn't that crazy? What has happened ever since I have been gone? We still got 2 people. Okay. So, we're back to it. Let me get this set up here. There I am. I'm dying. Crazy. Turns out running up the stairs would cause that. Okay. Your mother. Wow. Very original. Very original. Something special. Guess what we're gonna do now? Something even more special. We're gonna make hair. Why? I don't like her being bald. It just doesn't suit her. No more male pattern baldness, please. Get it out of my sight. So we're gonna grab this here. As you can see, there we are. There we are. We're having some pieces right here. This will serve as our hair base. We're going to simplify this by a lot. So let's do 6. Because you can't even tell the difference up till... Let's do 5. Yeah, let's do 5, maybe. We're going to do 4 for this. And we're going to choose this shape right here. So you're going to notice it's making a shape like this. So you can actually see what's going on, right? So... Then we go ahead and shrink this part down, because she has very rough cut hair. Then we scale everything down, and guess what? Now we have hair. We're going to grab the original hair system that we use. Yet again, taken from a guy who is very more talented than I am and came up with it first. He's made by this guy named Vortex. Good blenderer guy. He does some small little blender commissions here or there. I haven't interacted with him much other than just like on the Blender Discord, but he's actually a pretty interesting guy, honestly. Okay. Oh, there you go. See where we're at. Yeah, let's see here. Okay, I'm gonna do something here early on the stream to make sure that we get it by the end. I want this character having a drawing of them with a low taper fade. Why? Silly reasons. Could become an emote. Okay, I sent it out. There we are. We're gonna give her some dark hair, but with a tinge of green. I give it a little bit of green here. There we are. Okay, so with hair, you know what you do? You just ploop it on. You slowly build it out, right? So this is one of the very many methods you could use. This is my favorite though. Why? It's very easy to build something out with it. Doesn't take a crazy amount of effort, and if you know how hair works, it's more intuitive to build. So we're gonna look here. Hair starts around, let's say here. And we'll give her these small little tiny top front bangs right here. see what we got. Cool. That hair shines a bit too much. Let me see here. Actually, and I look at it. You know, I'll tell you what. I would think so too, but that's kind of been the art style. Let me see if I can reduce it down because this character has less shiny hair. There might actually be a way to fix that. Let me see if there is something here. Lower the sheen. Do this. I think it might work, actually. Okay, so we're adding like a hairline right here. Currently, it's kind of rough, so I'm believing most of this hair that's originating is from like the center right now. That's what I'm led to believe. Could be wrong, but that's what I believe it's starting at. From here, there's like a long bang that goes right here. The hair's a little bit not thick enough, so I'm gonna thicken up the hair a little bit. It's a little easier to work with. There we are. We can calm some of the curvature down. So we're gonna have this one part go all the way down to here. Subdivide twice. We go like this. A little twist right there. We might add a little bit of hair on the bottom here to make it feel a little bit more full, perhaps. Because currently there's still some gaps in it, which we kind of have to fix as we go along here. And we continue. Let's go to like here. We're going to maybe skip this part right here and do a second layer to fix all of our mistakes or stuff we can't make right now. There's like a bald spot right there, so we're going to fix that in a second. Okay, so hair gets a little thicker in the back here, so we're going to give it like a more of a thicker strand for this one. Hair's also notably longer on this side. So, keep going here. Okay, we're gonna remove the image because I don't think I need to know it now. I think I got it in my head. Let's get that there. Okay. We're gonna make this longer. We'll make a duplicate, and then we're gonna make this a different object so we don't have to think about all the weird points on the other side here. We'll hide any of our notes. So these are going to be our fill hairs right now. So the real goal is just making sure she doesn't look bald first. And if we have to miss some spots, we can. But once we're done, we can do another pass and make it even rougher and then keep going until it's enough. Because as of now, it's too neat. It's a little too clean, right? Character's hair is not meant to be that. It's meant to be messy. It's meant to be very, very telling for it to be messy. So, we're going to try and demessify it a little. Okay, let's see. Keep going. I don't know, I might have enough time today. I might actually be able to make a render when this character is done. We're not at home stretch yet. I think we're around halfway done, though. Take a look through. This needs it's a little too square. We're gonna smoothen that out a little bit. So we got this. Keep going. So the hair is starting to get a little bit less long on this side, at least profile-wise. So we're gonna kind of make it a little less on the fancy side. I'm in locked-in mode right now. There we are. Make this part tilt. We're gonna add one in the middle here to justify it. Once we get the base of the hair here and all that figured out, we're going to move to the actual face of the character. Okay, let's go ahead and fill this in now. So this is going to be one of the very many hairs that we're going to have that just like poke out for whatever reason. So it's to sell the idea that the character has very messy hair. Why? Why would the character need fancy hair? She does policing. She beats people up. Beats people up for breaking the law and throws them into jail. Scooch this up. Okay, let's look at the base here. So it just needs more ruggedness, basically. Yeah, just some rugged pieces here or there. We also need the rugged, like 2 hairs that go out, like stick out for whatever reason. Let's add those in. Oh, I see, it's at the front. Makes sense, because there's a bunch of stuff going on over there. There we are. So this is accidentally way smaller. Okay, second one. Same thing, we're gonna shrink it a lot. Okay, this is now what we have. We're gonna add more hairs that go outwards. And I think we just need to make eyebrows, eyelashes, stuff for the face. And then we should be good for a pretty decent base set. And then it's gonna be like 1 hour of polishing, then we're done. So 30 minutes of the hair fiddling, all that fancy stuff, and we can do all the polish stuff. Okay, we're gonna add a couple loose hairs in here. That's a good one. Let's add one in the far back. That pokes out more like this, maybe? Okay, now we're gonna add this one right here. We're gonna keep adding even more until it feels right. Currently not enough, basically, it just needs more. More hair, we're gonna sneak one through the ear right here. So the ear is still visible. Let's reduce the height of this one a little bit. Feels a little bit more natural. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and steal another hair, and then we're gonna make it a separate object again, because we have a lot now. It's a little hard to look at with all the dots everywhere. There we are. Probably an easier way, but I'm too lazy to even think about it right now. I might actually be able to put that hair there. I might be okay with that, actually. Okay, this is going to do for the hair for now. It's not perfect, but we'll leave it as for B for now. This is the hair. A little fancy, isn't it? Go ahead and hide this. There we are. Okay, so now with this, we need to now make the actual fun part, which is actually making it look alright. So now we're gonna create our own eyebrows here, based on the reference. In the reference, they're very like scrunched, but we can't do that here. So instead, we're just gonna make her have generally pretty thick eyebrows. Let's hide this for now. Okay, now we got this shape right here. So we'll go ahead and subdivision twice. We'll do subdivision once, then we'll subdivide by like that. There we go. There we go. So we're gonna add the same hair shader we just used. So we just put the hair shader in. It's actually gonna copy the one. Didn't there because I actually screwed it up. But wrong hair. That's the one for the other character, which I actually need to remove from this file. That's probably why it's lagging so much. There we go. Let's go ahead and purge some unused data. Probably optimize a little bit here and hide some shaders here. So we're just focused on the face right now. Knowing what's going on, it's probably because I have a big boy shader, or not a big boy shader. I have a big boy sculpt on right now, so it's probably causing the most lag. If I would be correct. I could be wrong, but my general thoughts. We'll run with that. So those are going to be the eyebrows. Alright, we're going to do the head retopology now, because it's about time that we have our file actually be able to, you know, handle something for once. Crazy, I know. Because our file's been laggy ever since we added the hair, which is fine, but we want it to be a little bit more manageable. So let's fix that. There we go. Okay, Now we're going to merge these two things right here. There we are. So this will mirror properly now. There we are. So then, now what we're going to do is we're just going to go in and finish the last part of the base mesh for the head. So we're going to grab the head here, wireframe in front, like so. And we're going to try and apologize this as close as we can. Then if we need to add any more details to the face because it just doesn't look right, then we can. Okay, so we got the outline for the eyes, right? We're going to extrude and push that out. And now, you have the next part for the set of eyes. So, we're going to grab this here, keep going. Switch to material mode. This makes it all white, so it's easier to look at. Not like distort light mode, that's a nightmare, alright? Probably going to increase detail once we're done with this, because there's some parts that are glaringly buggy and need fixing. Example, the lips, a little bit too weak. Gonna add a little topology thingamabobber right here. As usual, the quietness is continued as I lock in. Nothing crazy's been said in chat. I've just been allowed to lock in and do it for once. Crazy, I know. Topology ratios, as you can see here. Topology ratio right here, because of the corner alignment. Keep going. Okay, we got the face down. You can see we have the topology down. So, might move this spot over to here. Might make the ratio happen earlier, but otherwise, I think this is a pretty good setup so far. We just need to get to the ears now. So we're going to finally connect some stuff that we haven't connected yet. So this is the ear. The ear has its own topology, right? We're actually going to remove a bit of the existing topology because we don't like all of it. So we're really going to unsubdivide it. Clear the seam here. We mark the seam. Then we go like this. There we are. And we join it. So now we don't have to make all the topology for it. It's already done for us, right? That's the fun thing about using pre-built meshes. If you know how to use them within both the sculpt and the retopology, you should be able to basically reuse existing stuff that you already know how to make, right? Like, I don't need to know exactly how to make an ear if I already have a model for it. And if I'm able to adjust it, I don't have to do the topology for it either. So you actually end up helping a lot with the thing, but it's the main idea, at least, is if you can get a pre-existing mesh and you're able to work it in your system, you should probably use it if you have a way to edit it. Now, let's see here. Okay, we're getting to the outside here, and we're almost going to be done with the topology, and we can actually start moving on to the end game. Right here, we're going to add a topology ratio, which this one's going to be a little trickier. There we are. Keep going. Go like this. Continue the loop. Okay, let me see if I got who I got figured out. Okay, so we're gonna continue with the head here. We're gonna try and go all the way around, loop back to the bottom, right? I think once we're here, we'll just then need to apply our shrink wraps, and we should be good to go to actually finish out the character with all the details and all that. And of course, later I'm probably gonna make a fancy video about me making this character and all that once the render is out. We don't really need much more topology after this point, so we might just do a topology ratio at here. Just do that, because might as well, since we're early on this. There we are. A scooch one that goes over here. Continuing our roundabout right now. Okay, now we just need to start building out the back here. So we'll keep going. So follow the loop, follow the trail. Start even this out a little bit. We don't have to worry too much about when the topology is bad in the back, especially because when it's covered by hair, doesn't really make much of a difference, right? Really, silver lining is whatever you see is whatever you get. So you don't need to worry about things you don't see, right? Like, visually speaking, no one cares if this one tiny bush in the background looks really good or not. Unless there's a lot of them and they're prominent on screen, then of course we will. Because, you know, that's just sort of how it is, you know? So, if you're ever doing stuff like this, you want to make sure that you're paying attention to what matters. Because the fundamentals are going to matter more than the details in the long run. When you get good enough, then you can start focusing on, like, your own details, right? Because that's just sort of how it works. Let's do flatten. We're going to clean that up pretty soon. Link this back. Ooh, nice. Perfect number. So, put in almost perfectly. We only had one triangle we needed to put in there. Then, we're good. This is the topology. We actually now need to get a... There we go. One of these. So, it'll be nice. Get that in there, get that in there. Let's remove the eyes for right now so we can just plop these in the eye sockets. It sounds horrifying. That's because it is. Ah! There you go. Let me see here real quick. All videos. Not bad. Okay, I think now what we just need to worry about is finishing out the character. So first we're just going to apply our shrink wrap and then mirror, then our shrink wrap. Shrink wrap, then mirror. We'll shade it smooth now. It's gonna look bad at first. Then we're gonna go in with like a go in with the mesh and do a set from faces. There we are. So now it's all shiny and smooth, right? Oh yeah, we need to connect the hands. Almost forgot. So here, we're just going to go ahead and keep the same topology, but we're going to join it here. We're going to connect it up. So this is a very redneck method, but we can just go like this. Okay, I was making sure that we didn't have an extra on the other side. So we just go like this, and now it'll go on the outside of the arm. There we are. And we just connect them up. Almost perfect amount. We just had one triangle. Nah, two. It's alright. So now we got this. So this is the base. About as clean as we can get it. So now all we need to do is we just need to go in and just simply put it. First, we already got our mirror working. Yeah. We're just going to apply our shrink wrap. There we go. Now it's even on both sides. So now this is the original. This is the retopology. Move wireframe, and you can absolutely tell that there's a difference, but it's way more cleaner. So we're going to fix this issue in just a second, but we need to go back to see how it actually visually looks. So we'll grab this, and we'll add the leather coat. We'll add all the other stuff as well. Where is the other piece? This in the pants. Okay, now we're going to hide this, and we're now going to use the base mesh now, because it's way easier to look at. Or at least way less topology, so it can actually handle it. We're going to grab our skin shader. We're eventually going to add all the details for the character in just a second. We don't need this anymore. Show back the hair. Show the eyes. Okay, so this is now what we have, right? Looks alright, but not enough detail. So, here's our trick, right? So we got this. First we're going to make a base mesh for security reasons. Why? If in case something goes horribly wrong, fix it. We're going to choose multi-resolution, right? So, the multi-resolution, it's going to divide the mesh a bunch of times, right? And once it's been divided a bunch, then we can go in with the shrink wrap, and we can actually shrink wrap the actual sculpt itself so it looks higher detail. Yeah, now see, it looks like it's way higher detail, right? So now we can apply it, and now if we crank this down, we can see it like how it should be. This is how it's gonna look like. Then from here, now what we can do is we can just do any cleaning we want to do. Is there any cleaning I want to do on the lips? None really. I think I'm fine for this one. Let's take a look at this part right here. On occasion, you'll get some weird artifacts, in which case, since we're in multi-res, we can just sculpt that out. So we'll just go in here and we'll just smooth this part out. Not bad, right? So, we We can fix any details we want to make sure are detailed. So like for instance, this needs detailed. There we go. This needs detailed. This needs detailed. Anything with like a sharp crease on it that needs to keep that sharp crease, you want to detail before you go in with it. And we'll smooth the lips. So that way, even if they're not properly fully shaped, they can at least look smooth. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go in here. We're going to smooth out any bits that don't work. Oh, this is a bit right here. Okay. Look for any artifacts that are roughed over. Oop, there's one in the ears right here. Finally, once you're done, this is what the end result will end up looking like once we're done. So now we can unhide it like this. Remove all this garbage here, we don't need it. And we're going to add an image texture and figure out the UVs. So we're basically baking the details in, right? So this is what it will look like in high-res detail. This is what it actually is, right? Since it's baked in, it takes way less space to actually do it. So that's the main reason why we do it. It takes up way less rendering time, makes it a lot faster and more efficient. So it simply becomes better, right? Okay, so once we have this, it's going to be a bit laggy, so we'll just go here for now. Image texture. New. And we're going to make this 248 because it needs to be a bit big. Want to, just go in here and multiply it by 2. We're going to choose Darl Normals for the name. 32-bit float. Very important. Non-color. Alright, if you don't, it'll look really weird and it just doesn't work. We're going to go to cycles, which I know, horrifying. We're not going to use it for very long. Reduce the samples down to like 4, because we don't need that many samples for this. Then we're going to choose normal. And then we're going to bake from multi-res. We're going to bake. Be pretty fast. We're going to choose normal map. And all that. Now, I did miss a step, which I'm going to show you the example, because I actually did forget it. So we're going to plop this in, and you're going to see that it's horrific because it doesn't actually work. Watch. Doesn't work. Why? You didn't bother making the UVs. So, UVs, basically like us trying to unwrap a piece of paper, right? So, we're trying to unwrap it like a piece of paper as flatly and as neatly as we can, so that way we can slap the image on top of it without any muss or fuss, right? So let's go here. We're going to go ahead and choose... We're going to first make sure this is snapped to symmetry, all of which are symmetrical. Good. So I'm going to select this loop, literally just holding shift here. There we go. There we go. Gonna make a cut right through here. finally make a cut to here. Cut in the middle. And we're going to remove the ones in the front here because we're actually going to scale up the front one so we have actually more room to work with for the actual texture painting, because we're going to get to that pretty soon. But that's the basic idea how we'll end up making it work. UV unwrap angle. Save. Now you can see here we have a giant like sheet of it basically. It's like flattened out like a sheet of paper. And we're gonna just like look here, see if there's any errors. Okay, that's fine. That is not fine. That's because this part wasn't accounted for. Whoopsie. Do it again. Okay. Now, we're going to scale up any parts we think need more detail. And then we're going to loop it back in even more. So, we're going to scale this up by ×2. And we'll do times... You know what? ×2. I'm fine with it this time. Finally, we pack the islands as close as we can. Now we're going to see if we get something like that. Hold on. Pack islands. Okay, we get something like this. Should work pretty good. The only potential problem might be that the UVs are tilted, but we should be fine, if I'm not mistaken. So we're going to go ahead and get this here. We're going to save it. So now that we got this, grab this, cut, go here, bake. Now that we got this, should, in theory, now look pretty high detail without it actually being high detail. And it does. So we can now prove it. Watch this. So it looks like this high detail, but it's not. It looks like this. Actually, it's here. It's actually not as high detail as it looks. So, we basically faked detail. Classic trick. It's a fun one, though. So now, finally, we need to save this as a JPEG. I just do 100% quality as a JPEG, and then we put it in the same file. And finally, it sends it out like this. Not bad, huh? Okay, now we're going to look at our outline. We're going to grab the image and we're going to try and recreate some stuff. The first thing, character needs to look a little bit meaner. So, we're going to give her some more mean eyebrows. First thing. Let me see here, what do we need to do? Trying to find a way to reduce some of the lag. Might have an idea here. Let's go ahead and remove some of the unnecessary stuff from the scene now that we're here. So let's remove the sculpt because we don't need it anymore. And let's see here. We already have the D&D base mesh good. We'll put that in there. We probably need this path. No, we don't. That's one we can throw in there as well. And we'll just leave it at that. So it doesn't even bother to worry about it anymore. Should run way smoother now. decently so. Okay, I think we're now going to make the eyelashes. So, we actually use an image plane for this one. So we're going to actually steal from another character for this example here. Let's see here. See how the lag is with this in addition to me doing this. How does it feel? Because it does feel a little janky on my end. I'm making sure it doesn't feel like that on the stream. Doesn't feel like that to me. I guess we'll run with it. I was worried that it'd be a little too much, but surprisingly not. So we're going to spawn in one of our existing characters. Say hello to one of the existing characters in the new campaign, the Epic Furnace. Character that is being spawned right now is Omega for the new campaign. Currently, the eyelashes haven't been like fully fixed yet, so they still need some fixing. F3, make instance real. What was it again? Let's clear the parent as well. There we are. I'm just gonna grab this and make a copy of it. There we go. This is what the Goblin's actual height is compared to a normal person. So if you can take a look here, this is what a normal person looks like, and this is her all the way down here. Goblins are really short, actually. It's crazy how that works. But they're actually incredibly short in canon, so let's go ahead and see here. Really gonna steal this here. This good. Pretty sure we're good now to remove the Omega character. Okay, we're gonna link that. Okay, I do have to head out, but I will mention, from here on out for the streams, we're gonna just do the sculpting phase, because that's the most fun part usually. When we get to like the later stages, things usually tend to get a little bit more laggier on my end, so I can't do it as easily. So, for the most part, we'll be doing D&D Live specifically for, or the D&D Creation Live specifically for the sculpts, and then we might leave the rest up to me. Because currently, with technology-wise, a little too laggy for most of the things I want to do, right? When it gets less like that, though, I might change my mind on that one, but that's what we're going to do from here on out. But, anyways, I'm going to head out. I shall see you people.
Bye-bye.